Hey, welcome back into today's video. We have another disgusting person with some also terrible logic. Zoe Laverne likes to give advice to P3DOs. Now, this is a person who appears to have gotten away with alleged CSA. Connor, now 18 years old, talks about how Zoe hurt him when he was only 13. Evidence and anecdotes showed that Zoe, behind the scenes, was manipulating and telling Connor that she would off herself if she was ever caught. The truth of her obsession with this little boy goes back to when he was just around 10 to 11 years old at their first meeting, all the way up until federal crimes, literal federal crimes, were alleged to have been broken. This is not good. In today's episode of Exploring TikTokers. Zoe's a TikToker with 21.7 million followers and 2.1 billion likes. Currently, her comments are turned off. I wonder why her comments are turned off. Now, you might remember this person. I covered them back in around November of 2020, where we went over some things that she did. There were some videos that leaked that I'm not going to show here of her kissing and cuddling on a child in a very inappropriate way. But I will show you some reaction. Gotta go traverse the evil depths of Twitter or X or whatever it's called. You can kind of see the sentiment that's kind of going on here. I think everybody was confused. Now, I do think it's important to showcase that back when I covered her, she had around 17.6 million followers, 1.7 billion likes, which has now increased to 21.7 million followers and 2.1 billion likes. Back then, she got 8.7, 8.2 million, 13 million views. And today, while the views have significantly decreased, they're still within the millions. This is after being exposed for alleged CSA, hurting a 13-year-old boy. Her initial reaction to this was to completely run away from the internet. In one article, it says that she deleted her Instagram, but I believe she actually deactivated her Instagram, and she popped up on another Instagram platform, the ZLP fandom. It was like a little fan group, and posted this, saying, "Thank you for everything, really. But for right now, I don't think I'll be back on social media again. I have a lot to think about. I really don't want to leave you guys, but I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of crying and hurting. It's nothing but negativity to me anymore. I love you so much." She also posted this, and I think it's important we break this down just a little bit. "Hello. I know that a lot of you are disappointed in me, and you have every right to be. I will address this as soon as I can get my Instagram back. I can't get into it due to my number being changed. I would like to say I'm aware of what was leaked, but Connor was not blanked, etc. Connor and I kissed, yes. Never had a relationship, but we did catch feelings for each other after being so close. These videos were from months ago. Like that detail matters. And we both realized it was wrong, and we both cut it off before anything was leaked. I did tell his mom we kissed. She wasn't happy, obviously, but she understood that we were both teenagers and that feelings can be caught." Now that right there, I believe the mom should have turned that in if it was a 19-and-a-half-year-old male influencer. I believe it would have been looked at differently. And you might ask, well, why? Well, she follows up with my point. I am aware that I'm an adult, and I'm aware that I have done something wrong, and I'm very sorry for what I have done. Connor and I will go live together as soon as all this calms down and explain ourselves. This was not meant to be on social media. I'm sorry you had to see it. I removed people that left or that I thought would be rude to me. So basically, she banned all the other adults that have logical, reasonable brains. So instead of being rude in the comments, please just understand what I have wrote. Thank you. Connor and I have no communication for 3 days now. We are still friends, but we think it's best to stop talking and work on each other's mental health and spend time with our families. That's a wild thing to say, seeing as the little boy's mental health is destroyed because of this person. And it's kind of like just weird because you're self-reporting here and then at the same time saying we're both teenagers, minimizing. And apparently she checked herself into a mental facility. According to the fandom account, on Monday, November 2nd of 2020, an Instagram post was made from the account, which Zoe is known to post on instead of her main Instagram handle. The caption read, "I'm checking myself into a hospital for a while. I don't know when I'll be out, etc. I'm trying to find help before it's too late. I love you guys. Goodbye for now." It appears that she likes to use defense mechanisms or turn situations into defense mechanisms. I've seen her do it with several different things. When she gets in a tight spot, she says, "I'm going to off myself. I'm depressed. I'm not in a good mental state. And this is why I did all these things." She hides behind pregnancies, as you'll see. She even possibly hides behind religion, as you'll see. Is there anything to be believed with this woman?
The whole Connor situation. I wish I could take that back. I can't do that. I can't take it back. It was exposed to the social media. It was exposed to everyone out there. And I'm trying my best to move on from it. I got a lot of help for it. I was literally put into a mental hospital because I needed mental help. I was in there for 6 days. Spoke with a therapist every day and then did outpatient. Spoke with therapists, got myself back up to the mindset that I am.
I think when we're dealing with trying to fix the underlying issues to do with the brain, it takes a little bit more than 6 days. And I'm not sure that even applies to something like this. When you become a technical danger to society, I don't believe reintegration comes by so easily.
But even though what I did was wrong and it did push my level down a lot, the social media part of it made it worse on me. So I had to get extra help for it because people were completely bashing me, calling me disgusting, saying that I am not worth living, that I am a disgusting human being. I know what I did was wrong, but I don't need to be reminded of it every single day and you guys bullying me and putting me down for it.
Yeah, you do, and it's called prison.
It's not worth it. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to be a better person. I've done so many things on my own recently, and I've been very proud of myself.
Well, bless her heart. Notice that she's not saying anything about Connor. Doesn't care. It's all about her. It's all about her and her victimhood. Also, keeping in mind that she was still lying at this point in time. Just take a look at these comments here, all in support. These have to be little kids. Have to 100% be little kids because any rational, reasonable, logical, normal human being is not going to be saying this in support of that. And now it's time to break for our sponsor today. You know what's really frustrating? Getting injured in an accident and not knowing where to start. The paper, the cause, the uncertainty, it can feel like a nightmare. And have you ever wondered if your injury could be worth millions? Well, it might be. But here's the problem. Traditional law firms make it so complicated. We've all heard stories of insurance companies lowballing victims. It's not fair, but it happens every day. Have you ever had to deal with the endless back and forth just trying to get what you deserve? It is exhausting. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. They're not just any law firm. They are America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys fighting for you if you become their client. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been helping people get the compensation they deserve. And when I say results, I mean life-changing results. Like $12 million awarded in Florida, that's 34 times the insurance company's original offer, or $26 million in Philadelphia, which was 40 times higher. Morgan & Morgan makes it easy for you if you become their client. You can file your claim right from your phone, no hassle. And the best part, it's completely free unless you win your case. That's right, no upfront costs, no risk to you. If you've been seriously injured, don't wait. You can go to forthepeople.com/repzilla, or you can scan the QR code right here on the screen. It just takes a few minutes and you could be just one click away from changing your life completely. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. And again, thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video and what we do. Also, keeping in mind that she was still lying at this point in time. Just take a look at these comments here, all in support. These have to be little kids. Have to 100% be little kids because any rational, reasonable, logical, normal human being is not going to be saying this in support of that. And then when she finally decided to come back to social media, she come back making jokes, even posting things, making fun of the situation. When I covered the situation back in 2020, I could not believe the words that were coming out of this girl's mouth.
He made me happy in many different ways, and I made him happy in many different ways. We both were really close and caught feelings.
Now that was her talking about the 13-year-old fan, admitting to catching feelings for a child. But the depth of Zoe's depravity is far worse than we even knew back then.
Instead of putting me down for my choices and my mistakes that I've made in life, try to just tell me what I did wrong.
Now, at the time of this situation, there were leaked videos that came out on the internet that showed them kissing and cuddling and things that a 19-and-a-half-year-old woman should not do with a child. Connor is now 18 years old, and he's come out with the truth and all the evidence to back it, showcasing exactly how manipulative and evil Zoe Laverne actually is. Now, to give this situation the respect it deserves, we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to walk you through it with the current evidence in retrospect and break it down, go through the logic and the things that she said. This is the clearest example of authorities letting a child down, letting things slip through the cracks, and showing double standards.
I kissed a minor. Yeah, that's awful.
We both just ended up catching feelings for each other.
He didn't do anything besides kiss, which is wrong, and I understand that. He's a minor. That was wrong.
I feel awful for it, and I wasn't in the right state of mind. I was going through a lot, and I really just wanted to find happiness.
When this first happened, she outright denied it, and then outright denying it moved into defending it, and moved into saying I'm having no contact, that I've just only made a simple mistake. Somehow Zoe, despite what she's been alleged of and the overwhelming evidence points to that this could be within the realm of possibility, she still has a thriving career, which honestly is pretty horrifying. She still makes virtually the same type of content outside of now having a child, which that in of itself is pretty horrifying given the things that she's alleged of, but the truth will make you sick. If we go back to November 2020, there were some videos that leaked online. It was a pretty big story. And as I said at the time, we didn't have all the details, although it did look pretty condemning. And she took advantage of us not having all the details by consistently downplaying the severity on her live streams, posts, and various other types of media. Now we're going to walk through Zoe's responses and break them down. Some of this will showcase that she's not the smartest person, as you'll see here in her first response/apology.
So I do feel awful for it. I wasn't in the right state of mind. I was going through a lot, and I really just wanted to find happiness. And I really just wanted to be happy. And Connor was my best friend, still is. Even though we can't talk, he's still my best friend. And he made me happy in many different ways. And I made him happy in many different ways. We both were really close and caught feelings.
So that was her attempting to say that she got sad and was just going through a hard time, and that's why she kissed a child. I think it's pretty normal. I've been sad a few times in my life, as I'm sure that you might have too, and you can let me know in the comment section below, but I don't see that as a normal response to sadness. Another thing we're going to be talking about and pointing out in this video is how Zoe was saying things back then, and then Connor was also parroting those same talking points. It's pretty obvious she was coordinating with Connor and telling him exactly what to say. Here's a rare clip of him explaining, and you can hear the emotion in his voice. It's almost like he's not really confident about the words that he's saying. He's speaking very fast.
I was upset I didn't have a lot of friends, and then me being the fan that I used to be, when I got to see her and stuff, I was really happy. She was happy because she finally had a friend that were there for her, stuff like that. And it was just a mix of confusion, a burst of confusion to where we thought that we were more than friends, and we weren't thinking just because we made each other happy, and we weren't thinking that all went down, whatever that happened. And then we weren't thinking throughout all of this because we were just focused on how happy we made each other, if that makes sense. And we realized it was wrong. It all hit us at a time. It all hit us at one point. We realized that it was horribly wrong. We were regretting with everything in us. We felt so much guilt and pressure on us.
At the time, all we thought was that they kissed. It's about to get worse. Keeping in mind that we now know Zoe was seeking Connor out, enjoying the process, and even having a good time cracking jokes, as you'll see. Another thing you'll see is a very poor attempt at shifting accountability onto the child by using words like we.
We didn't really understand what was going on, and even though people would say well, you're old enough to realize it's wrong, I just wanted to be happy. And it's not an excuse, and I'm not trying to make excuses about it. It's just me telling the truth and how I felt. And I just didn't know what else to say and know what else to do. And a lot of people are, a lot of influencers are bashing me for it, and that's okay. You guys have every right to. I'm embarrassed for my actions, and you guys have every right to be upset with me, and you guys have every right to dislike me.
What you have done is admitted predatory behavior. You don't have a right to a platform making videos for children. You don't get a second chance. And then you go on to say this.
Because it happens. You make mistakes, and you learn, and you live. And I know that I'm not the only person that has been put in this position before and has made the same mistakes and choices as me. And if there's any people out there that are having a relationship with a minor or doing things that shouldn't be done. Please realize that it's not right and that it's just gonna bother you in the long run. But
This is not one of those run-of-the-mill mistakes that you just say whoops. And your message to others that are talking to children, you do understand that you're giving actual life advice to pedophiles. And the best you could come up with is that they need to stop because it's going to cause trouble for them in the long run. That trouble is called prison. Now, I want you to take a second. I want you to think about this. Imagine a 19-and-a-half-year-old male influencer on TikTok romantically involved with a little 13-year-old girl saying, I was going through a hard time, or, we just caught feelings. What she actually did nearly 5 years ago was admit to predatory behavior. Here's her continuing to take absolutely no accountability.
Oh my God, there's a lot of people in here. Okay. So I wasn't going to address this situation until Connor and I had communication to talk so we could both go live together and talk about it, but he, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go live probably after he sees this, if he sees this. So
you know he's gonna see it. You know he's gonna see it because you told him. You're actively coaching him.
And I just wanted to come on live and tell y'all the truth and tell y'all that, a lot of people are making this out to be something that it's not and making it to be worse than it seems.
Disturbing logic.
I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that I didn't groom Connor, wouldn't do that to him. Literally love Connor to death. I wouldn't do anything to Connor ever without consent. Connor and I both consented to kissing.
This is when you begin to understand that the logic worldview, and we're strictly speaking about the flawed worldview, being stupid. Just that. And you understand that a child can't consent, and they look to their caregivers and the adults in their lives to help them. You were supposed to be one of those adults in that position.
How it went, we both liked each other, and then we realized that the ages were too different. Nothing happened between us besides kissing, and I'm saying that now. I'm really sick of people thinking that we did other stuff besides kiss.
So the situation's like this. If you was to find out that this happened 10 years into the future, in retrospect, it would still be very, very bad. So she's coming in and saying that it was months ago, and that the parents made them stop contact. Like it's just a normal old thing, minimizing the severity of what actually happened.
I just wanted to come on live and let you guys know that it stopped months ago. It hasn't been a thing for a while now. Connor and I don't have communication right now due to our parents both agreeing to cut our contact and give us both time to heal and from social media, because social media is very toxic to us right now. And we're both just kind of hurting. We're trying to laugh off the situation because we both realized back then that it was just not right and that the ages weren't appropriate.
Again, attempting to find anything that she can to create a shield as a defense mechanism, but it's not working. This is a very poor attempt. It's actually very transparent. It's important to actually talk about what it is that's making this such a difficult time for you. Speak it out loud. Say it. Repeat it to us very slowly what you did.
And because social media is so toxic nowadays, and because people like to put their little noses into other people's business, it makes it worse than it needs to be. So I'm here to tell you guys right now that this all was dragged out of proportion and put into something that it was not. People have so many rumors going around saying different things, and it's none of the stuff that people are saying is true. I didn't. Connor wouldn't do that. He's a kid, and I'm aware of that, and it just happened. We both were in a dark place when we first became friends, and we both just ended up catching feelings for each other. And friends do that. They catch feelings for each other. That's not a bad thing.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that this is illegal. In most countries, it's illegal in and of itself for anyone in a position of power to have a relationship with someone under the age of 18 years old. Not to mention the lowest age of consent in the United States is 16 years old. And specifically in the state that she resides in, it is 16. And the minimum age of victim is 14 years old. And minimum age to prosecute would be 18 if the victim was 14. And specifically in Pennsylvania, where Connor was from, 16. 16 was that age. Even if you look at the Romeo and Juliet laws, that's only 2 years. So at the time he was 13, 14, 15, so it would have been 15. She was 19 and a half years old because her birthday's June, early June. It was November, December. That's about 6 months. But let's clarify the timeline so you understand how deep this goes.
For starters, I was a fan. I did join her fan base in like 2018. I had a fan page and everything. And I went on a tour stop in Washington, D.C. in 2018 to meet her for the very first time. Now, at the time, there was a lot of other influencers on this tour. We went to solemnly take pictures. Like, it was for fans to meet their favorite creators. Now, over the time of 2018 to 2019, she would talk to fans that I ended up becoming friends with. We had mutual friends, and I was then introduced to her through, she added me on Snapchat, and we would talk every now and then. It was all kept to a normal, cordial level.
So they started conversing in physical meetups in 2018. Ages in 2018 would have been, Connor would have been 10 to 11 before and after his birthday, which is in May. Zoe would have been 16 to 17. Her birthday's in June, early June. This is still not okay. This was the established contact, but things progressed in 2019 by Zoe's actions.
Now, in August of 2019, she had a tour stop in my hometown that I went to, which I went with two of my friends. And after the show, I was talking with her. She brought me upstairs to see the venue. It was more of a secluded thing from the rest of the people that were there to attend. I also attended another one in December of 2019. So by the third time of me meeting her in person, she knew who I was just based off of seeing me.
So in 2019, when Connor was about 11 to 12 years old and Zoe would have been about 17 or 18, she was taking him off into secluded areas, which, given future context in retrospect, that's scary.
Now in 2020, I still was keeping it going with this fan page, and I had a lot of mutual friends that talked to her, and we would all FaceTime and group FaceTimes, but slowly it started sectoring off to just private FaceTime calls between the two of us. In April of 2020, things did start to get a little more personal. It was causing issues between her and her ex-boyfriend, Cody. He was concerned about things.
So at this point, we're in 2020, and it's moved from an adult supervising a child to secluded areas to regular personal and intimate phone calls and a concerned at-time boyfriend, Cody. Not too long after this, we get the leaked conversations between at-time best friend Amber and Cody. And let's go read that, given the new context. So to give you a little bit of context to this, at this time, Connor had not been coming out publicly, and at the time he was actually defending her because she was behind the scenes manipulating him, saying that if she got caught, she would off herself, and we'll get to that. Amber says, "I'm going to be honest with you in hopes that it truly stays between you and I, because I genuinely don't know what else to do. I left because our interactions with Connor, they got very intense, and it's something I do not stand by whatsoever. It's, the P word. I had told Zoe that if she stopped and minimized contact with him, that she wouldn't have to lose me, and it didn't have to come to that. So she changed her story and said she was joking about the things with Connor. But I knew at that point she was lying and that they both were lying. Connor had reached out to me a few times apologizing about lying and that he knows I don't deserve to be lied to, etc., and assured me that they stopped. But Dawson, and I don't know who Dawson is, just reached out to me yesterday and said that they still FaceTime all day, every day, and haven't stopped. More into that, she became very toxic to my mental health after my breakup with Jack. She knew I was struggling mentally into a very dark place, and on one instance, she went to the extent of making a fake texting app pretending to be Jack to put me in deeper into the hole? That's disgusting. She saw that he was attempting conversations with me, which wasn't attention she was getting from you. And so on several counts, she told me, as well as a few others, that you were making texting apps to text her and call her ugly, etc. She at one point, in front of so many people, said you used to beat the F out of her. And I snapped on her because I grew up in a not good household, and I told her that she has no idea what the meaning of having the blank beat out of her was. We've done nothing but fought about these things, and she talks nothing but poor on you. I've watched her fake text, fake calls, etc. She literally has the whole villain utility belt. Dawson and I spoke yesterday, and he told me she's trying to be with him again, yet doing the whole lying to everyone else as well, because her and Connor. Nothing really makes sense to me on how someone can lie so easily, and it petrifies me. And just to illuminate a little bit more what this person's saying, here she is lying about these very messages.
I don't know where this screenshot came from. I don't know if Amber actually sent it. I don't know if it's photoshopped. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it was said, whatever the case is. But I'm here to tell the truth and tell you that I am 19 years old and I know better than to do anything with a 13-year-old minor. My career is set on minors. I have little kids that look up to me on a daily basis. Yes, maybe in my past I've done things that is not very mature to do in front of minors and, vaped whatever in front of them. If that was the case, that was the case, etc. But the fact of people saying that one of my best friends that was a supporter of me for 3 years is unacceptable, is disgusting, makes me sick to my stomach, literally makes me want to throw up. I can't even imagine. I can't even ever imagine doing something like that, considering I know what's right.
She had no idea. Don't know where it came from. Couldn't even concept this, how the possibility of, she just didn't know. No idea. None. I'm so sorry I wasn't looking at anything from your perspective when that entire situation came out. When I left California and was gone for so long, I almost forgot how easily manipulation comes from her. Now that I left Zoe, she has both her parents thinking I'm some horrible person that just did her so dirty, all while Zoe is 19, by law engaging in the P word with a 13-year-old, which is the only reason I left. I'm so happy you're doing well and finally found happiness, Cody. You deserve it. I'm almost there. And now we have the corroboration from Cody. I really appreciate you being honest with me, but I am so sorry for what she's done to you. That sounds blanking horrible and traumatizing. No one should have to go through that. It's a terrible stomach feeling, and I know exactly how it feels to be exhausted and anxious because of how someone acts. I don't even know what to say about what Zoe said about me. She acts like she wants to be friends, and I have a whole recording saying, no, I can't be civil with you. I have so much to say, but I'm about to head into a meeting. I'll reach back out later. Remember your worth, Amber. It's how you'll push through everything, and I mean every single little thing. Amber goes on to say, I know that I'll heal and I'll be all right mentally because of the support system I have here at home. Where I'm most worried is about Connor, because right now he won't understand because he's so young. But 10 years from now, he's going to look back and say to himself, I was blank or I was blanked. Because in all honesty, that's what it is. And the scary thing is, it's literally a matter of time before someone turns her in or before her parents find out. And it breaks my heart for his mom because I'm actually close with her. And she has no idea how they interact or speak with each other. It's heart-shattering that Zoe is so blanking good at mind manipulation to make everyone believe she's the victim in every situation. Thank you for reaching out. It means so much. I wasn't aware of her calling you or anything because she only ever says you are constantly trying to contact her. And she throws, and then it looks like they say they throw ABUSC alleged things on some sort of social media account. Now this reminds me of that one thing that Zoe literally posted on her TikTok. It said this. It's a TikTok from Zoe Laverne's account. It says, Connor to Cody. Now, obviously, I can't play the music because copyright, but it's a song that says, I think your girl fell in love with me, making fun of, or poking fun at Cody, her ex-boyfriend. And back to the part where he says he's going to look back on this in 10 years. It wasn't 10 years, it was 5. And this quote here, the one where it says Zoe is good at mind manipulation, well, we need to keep that in the forefront of our thoughts. I also think it's a little bit too much credit to her because
both were really close and caught feelings.
It honestly looks like to me the only ones that were really fooled were the police.
Now, my birthday is on May 10th, and at the time, it was COVID, so I was having a drive-by birthday party past my house. My mom had reached out to Zoe to see if she'd be able to make it out here because she knew how much I had idolized her and thought it would make my whole birthday if she was able to come here to surprise me. It didn't end up working out, and she came out here on Memorial Day, which was only like a week or two after my birthday, and things were a little uncomfortable for the time being, but everything was normal.
Keeping in mind, at this time, he was 12 turning 13, and she was 18 turning 19.
Now, it was about 2 weeks later, the first week of June, when her and her ex-boyfriend had broken up, and she was in Tennessee at the time with her friend Amber, which then They both drove out here instantly to come visit me. Now, I was under the impression that they were only coming to visit for a week, but because they had both just gotten fresh out of relationships, they both made the decision to move here for a fresh start. Now, prior to her coming and visiting me, she did discuss with me on the phone that she liked me. I thought she was messing around. I thought it was just a funny little prank. She told me that she liked me and that when she came to visit me in May, she wanted to hold my hand. She wanted to, kind of be more intimate. Now, at the time that she had came here, I had just turned 13, maybe a week prior.
Now, it's just not a random coincidence that this woman wanted to have her fresh start in the same hometown as this kid. It appears that she was actively pursuing him.
Now, prior to her coming and visiting me, she did discuss with me on the phone that she liked me. I thought she was messing around. I thought it was just a funny little prank. She told me that she liked me and that when she came to visit me in May, she wanted to hold my hand. She wanted to, kind of be more intimate. Now, at the time that she had came here, I had just turned 13, maybe a week prior. I had a very close friend group at the time that I would talk to, that I had voiced about being a little uncomfortable with the fact of knowing that she liked me and her still coming here. But I was under the impression I only had to see her for a week, so I was in fear of if anything were to go wrong, I only have to deal with her for a week and I can move along and not speak to her again.
And don't believe everything you hear.
Now, it's difficult to say, but people knew.
Now, because she did make the ultimate decision to come and move here, we continued to get closer and closer and closer. Now, in June, she did kiss me. She did start to get more personal. She would try to seclude me off from my friends, from my family, try to get me away, whatever. Now, if you were on social media back in this timeline, you could see that I defended her for everything she was ever accused for, canceled for, etc.
Now, this closeness was corroborated by Zoe herself.
Connor was my best friend, still is, even though we can't talk. He's still my best friend, and he made me happy in many different ways, and I made him happy in many different ways. We both were really close and caught feelings. And
12 to 13-year-old going through complex situations like this must have been terrifying. Worse when we find out the depth that Zoe was manipulating him to defend her.
Now, if you were on social media back in this timeline, you could see that I defended her for everything she was ever accused for, canceled for, etc. I was so strung up and just trying to process real life because someone that I'd idolized for years was now living in my hometown, was somebody that was becoming my best friend, someone very close to me. And I was so caught up and just, wow, how is this real? That I wasn't paying attention to what was actively happening to me in the time being.
She even went as far as saying that she would end off herself, we'll say, to this kid. Dear God.
That she had told me if she went to jail for what she did, that she would off herself.
There's even evidence where she says that she self-hurt herself and that she would self-off herself. Dear God. You heard that right. This sick, twisted human being was telling a child that they were going to off themselves if they got caught doing what they were doing, breaking federal law. Was taking pictures of the self-injuries and sending it to the kid in order to manipulate. This is why the kid was defending so hardcore.
Now, she kissed me, and as time went on, things started picking up to a worse and worse level. She would engage in conversations with me, sending me pictures, calling me on the phone, doing things on the phone with me, etc. Now, keep in mind, I still was very highlighted by the fact that this girl was in my life because it was a surreal thing to me, that I was too afraid to speak up and have her hate me and wonder where things would end up.
I believe it's very well possible and within the realm of possibility that Zoe was outwardly playing stupid because her public explanations didn't match with her behind-the-scenes full acknowledgement of her crimes. Saying this about someone exposing the videos of her federal crimes.
it's not something that Connor and I wanted to be on social media. We don't know how it got out there. We don't know who did it. We just wanted it to stay between us. And whoever did leak the videos, really shitty. But it's okay. We're over it, and we realize that people are like that.
Well, I bet you did want that to stay between just the two of you. They were doing the right thing. You know full well what you were saying behind the scenes. This is her saying, I've been risking my reputation. Connor says, how? For liking you. I had to hide it. Not really hiding it when you post things like this. Connor went on to say, I deal with your fandom every day, and I have to deal with all this drama. She says, I'm getting called an effing P3DO. It seems like you fully know what you were doing was wrong. Here's you talking to somebody else. Look, you're all sad. You're bawling your eyes out, and the dude's like, wow, what's wrong? Because I don't want to hurt Connor, but it just hit me. Oh, it just hit you. He's a baby, and I don't want to go to jail. I'm so scared. And now Amber's saying the same stuff. You see all these anecdotes throughout the video we've spoken on, connecting the messages of Amber's corroboration, the anecdotes there, and then her validating everything that everybody's saying. This is pretty solid empirical evidence, it looks like. Allegedly. You're a liar, but we knew that. Just check this out.
But I'm here to tell the truth and tell you that I am 19 years old and I know better than to do anything with a 13-year-old minor. My career is set on minors. I have little kids that look up to me on a daily basis. Yes, maybe in my past I've done things that is not very mature to do in front of minors and, vaped whatever in front of them.
Vaping? Okay.
Me as a 19-year-old girl should not have to go, and him as a 13-year-old boy should not have to go through this situation at all. This is destroying mental health. This could get somebody in trouble for something they didn't even do. How are people defending you? Because I'm telling the truth. Pretty sure if I was guilty, I'd be bawling my eyes out right now, which is what I always do.
Yes, you are right. A 13-year-old should not have to go through the things that you, put him through. Destroying mental health, you say? Let's hear from him.
My messages were on the top, commenting on how Zoe has literally messed me up so bad mentally and destroyed me as a person.
This is 13-year-old Connor saying, Zoe really effed me up, destroyed me, used me to make herself happy. She admitted to it as well. I absolutely wouldn't doubt that. Made me feel that I can't live without her. And when I moved on, she got pressed, which she shouldn't have because she literally has a boyfriend. But when I moved on, she got pressed and body shamed at the person. You deserve better, and so did everyone who was friends with her. She just doesn't know how to treat people correctly and only ever thinks about herself for everything. Literally, please. This is him saying he's scared to be around her, scared that she's going to touch him. This is her joking about how he's too young to even produce liquid in the downstairs area.
By the way, y'all sound kind of stupid when you try to say Connor's dad because he can't even produce that type of stuff.
Oh my god.
He's not old enough. He's not old enough.
Followed by a message of her admitting to, she says, don't make me S your D again. These are messages from when Connor was 13 years old and was terrified of you and the inappropriate situations that you were putting him in. These situations were far too complex for him to even understand and comprehend. But you knew, remember?
The truth and tell you that I am 19 years old and I know better than to do anything with a 13-year-old minor.
You sound afraid when you're lying, almost as afraid as when you were telling the truth behind the scenes. Saying he's a baby, I don't want to go to jail. I'm so scared. Are the police really going to let this person get away with this? Really?
Pretty sure if I was guilty, I'd be bawling my eyes out right now, which is what I always do when I'm guilty.
Not too long after this, her mother defended her. The minor attempted to defend her, which is sad because he should have never had to do that. And then she ended up crying.
Don't cry. It's okay.
Set it off.
She wants to say hi to her fans. Say hi to them, Zoe.
Hi, guys.
And don't believe everything you hear.
It wasn't like she was hiding it too hard. It was out there in front of everybody when things like this were circulating.
These were TikToks that she had made directly from her account.
So these types of things were being posted publicly. She was talking about it to everyone. They were going over to each other's houses. How did the parents not know that? How did no one know that? It's also not lost on me when Connor says,
now, back in October of 2020, when things were publicized on the internet, I did talk to authorities and I did lie to the police because I was heavily manipulated and I was still in a sense of trying to protect her. She had gotten into my brain so deep that she had told me if she went to jail for what she did, that she would off herself. And being only 13 years old, and again, this is someone you idolize and you look up to, that is going to mess with your head.
Zoe says this.
My career is set on minors. I have little kids that look up to me on a daily basis.
And Connor, when defending her back then, was saying word for word what she's saying in this next clip. Almost like she was telling him what to say.
But again, I think something that you guys need to think about is that Zoe has a reputation. She has a whole career. Why would she mess it up and go and do something stupid like that? That's basically what I want to say, because I think that's something that you guys forget about, the fact that she has a whole career. That's illegal, obviously. And again, she has a whole career. She wouldn't mess that up. Because her career sometimes she takes very seriously, but this is really bothering me.
While she was lying and moral grandstanding online about maturity.
The immaturity that people bring on social media is so, I can't even, ew, it's so gross.
You know what's gross, Zoe? Making jokes about the things that you were doing, sometimes at the expense of everyone around you involved.
In this screenshot, you can see that she's laughing about it, saying, ha ha ha, I'm going to jail. Do you guys think prison has designer? Talk that she had made off her own personal phone.
So this clip here is one that she made on her personal phone in her own personal time, where she's grinding on the face of a 13-year-old at nearly 20 years old, and it's really gross.
Right here is another angle of her directly, pulling it up and showing it on FaceTime.
Of course, you couldn't hear the song, but it said, I'm going to put it on him and make him want to marry me, while she wrote daddy across his face. I'm about to read you a very disturbing text message from her then best friend. I believe it's, we're just going to say a word. It's been making me cry every night thinking about it. But even everyone I've come into contact with here asks me about you and Connor. I obviously defend you, but it's bad. Defending a crime, by the way. Now listen, I'm not trying to get in trouble, because if you went to jail for sleeping with Connor, I would go to jail for association for knowing about it and not doing anything. You're absolutely 100% correct about that, and we're pushing real hard. So everybody watching this video, do me a favor and share this video out. So let's try to make this premonition happen, because none of these people involved are in the right. Let's set a precedent. Also, subscribe if you like me destroying these awful people's worldviews. I've thought a lot about how to approach you about this, but I am very uncomfortable now with the thought of you sleeping with him, because that's mad jail time, and it would ruin the entire rest of your life. Now, I know he makes you happy. I'm not saying never see him again or anything like that, obviously. But obviously, you should be saying that. Both of you need to stop posting with each other every day. You guys need to stop posting the photos on each other's backs and in the bedrooms and everything like that. Normal thinking is when you hear wind of this kind of stuff, you go straight to the authorities. This is disgusting. One thing a lot of people aren't talking about in this situation is Zoe's obsessiveness and how she pursued this child. Even after being exposed, she tried to stay in contact with him. She was posting and keeping pictures of him in her phone case. That's gross. Another thing that was discovered is they had possible matching bond bracelets. Bond bracelets, you put them on, connect it to another person, and it does cool things like natural vibration that mimics your partner's touch and a variety of other really fun and cool things. The creepy Carly even was popping up in this kid's live streams, saying things like, "Hi Connor, I miss you. I hope you're doing well. I miss you lots." What we know is eventually Connor had to deactivate his social medias to get away from this person. She persisted throughout the next several months, posting songs saying my happiness and 2 of them are gone. And the second picture on that was of Connor. She knew she wasn't supposed to go around him, but she still did. She still pursued him obsessively and even went into live streams still defending.
Didn't groom Connor, wouldn't do that. He's a kid and I'm aware of that, and it just happened. We both were in a dark place.
Oh, both of them were in a dark place. Both of them.
Please stop coming to my life calling me that. You guys like genuinely like do not know your facts. Like you think you do because you like listen to YouTube videos and all these accounts, but like you don't even know what actually happened. Connor even told you guys that didn't happen.
I wonder why he said it didn't happen. Oh yeah, you were threatening to off yourself.
Connor even told you guys that didn't happen. Yet you still use that because I'm Zoe. But if it was anyone else, it'd be a different story. We saw it. No, you didn't. You saw it.
Nah, I think if it was anybody that did that, I'd be right here and saying very similar things.
Kissing is known as like, it's not known as like, what's the word? Yeah, like kissing isn't known as that. Kissing is like, kissing just happens. Like people kiss all the time. Like it's not illegal. I would have been in trouble for it. Like, yes, I realize that I did it. I'm not saying that I didn't do anything wrong because I know I did something wrong and I know it was wrong. But I'm saying like, you guys are calling him, but you don't even know the definition of it. Yes, he's a minor. 13 and 19 is illegal, yes.
That was the stupidest bunch of words that I ever heard in my entire life. Listen to this again.
Yeah, like kissing isn't known as that. Kissing is like, kissing just happens. Like people kiss all the time. Like it's not illegal. I would have been in trouble for it. Like, yes, I realize.
She said kissing a minor's not illegal. She would have gotten in trouble for it, and then says this.
Yes, he's a minor. 13 and 19 is illegal, yes. But
then they go on to try to say that if it was any other TikToker like Charli D'Amelio, then there wouldn't be a problem. And she's got some kind of fixation on Charli D'Amelio. I mean, like ever since Charli first passed her and she behaved like this.
I've been literally crying about this for like an hour because it's just so like pathetic that like she just comes in and like almost passes, like she's so close to passing me and everybody's reminding me that she's gonna pass me. And I just want to prove this bitch that I am better than her because I am Zoe fucking Laverne and I am literally the star of TikTok. And TikTok is putting me down and boosting her up, and I'm about to go to TikTok headquarters and strangle their necks.
Okay, back to the point. She was trying to say if it was Charli D'Amelio, then no one would bat an eye, and there's a problem with that.
Brody. Okay, so listen, y'all live your old minds like they're fact straight, okay? First is where someone above the age of 18 puts their hands on someone intending to sex them or intending to have sex or commit sex with a minor, which is not what was intended. There's no your right. And the most that happened was a kiss. That was all people kissed. Oh no, what a big deal. If this was fucking a bond break, Charli D'Amelio, I love her. It's okay. Acceptance, forgiveness, peace, love, and rainbows. Because it's Zoe Laverne, just start. Y'all are having an issue.
the start of TikTok. He had to add that in there.
They also failed to connect that Charli D'Amelio was born May 1st, 2004. That means if it was her, she would have been 15 years old and Connor would have been 13. And so that doesn't work either because Zoe, you were a 19 and a half year old adult. You're actually the worst of the worst and you should not be around children, and it is terrifying that you have a child of your own right now. You also doxed a 13-year-old in the past. A lot of people don't talk about that either, but let's remind them. One of our own, yet again, another 13-year-old fan.
Me just like rephrase what she said.
You leaked numbers, therefore they can leak anything they want on their account.
Girl, go play with Barbies. Go watch Disney. Personal life and numbers aren't the same thing, stupid. Can I just say your name? Dude.
Zoe actually put that 13-year-old little girl's name and number out to her millions. I think it was like 18 million followers at the time.
My career is set on minors. I have little kids that look up to me on a daily basis. Yes, maybe in my past I've done things that is not very mature to do in front of minors and, you know, vaped, whatever.
Vaping, I just can't. Zoe was attempting to defend herself in any way that she could, using any type of fallacious rhetoric that was available to her. Like saying that if people spoke out about this, they were using her name for clout.
One more post and then I'm done. There's a lot of people on TikTok using my name for like clout and just to like use me as like a target to get views and stuff. Do something good with your platform that makes you gain views and likes and a fan base.
Like, I don't know, I feel like attempting to seek justice and put you behind bars is a just and worthy cause. Go to the comment section and type, yes, this is a worthy cause. Press like and also subscribe, but only if you're liking the content so far.
I deserve jail time. I didn't do anything besides kiss, which is wrong. And I understand that he's a minor. That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have kissed him. Whatever. None of that. That was wrong. But y'all make me out to be like I like him. But y'all make me out to be this awful person that I'm not.
It's weird of you to say that. Let's go back to the empirical evidence here. Ha ha ha, I'm going to jail. Do you guys think prison has designer? Why is dating a 13-year-old illegal? Don't make me S your D again. There's you crying about being called a P3DO. Talking about how you're risking your reputation to be with him. Saying he's a baby, I don't want to go to jail, I'm so scared. She then attempts to go on to say that if the people who talk about this, they want her to delete herself. Check this logic.
I think it's time for a lot of y'all to move on and stop bringing up a situation that is left and gone. I don't bring it up like there's something wrong with you. You're jealous or something because you're constantly talking about it. You just want to see me die. You want to see me. You want me to fall. Like, I don't know.
That's the weirdest and stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I said it before back when I was first talking about it, and I'm saying it now. Dumb. Attempting to make people fearful of you dying sounds really familiar.
She had gotten into my brain so deep that she had told me if she went to jail for what she did, that she would off herself. And being only 13.
And you probably won't be surprised that when this rhetoric didn't work, she found opportunity also with her pregnancy. First, let's remember how Zoe dragged out her pregnancy announcement for over a month. January 2020, she revealed during a live stream she could be pregnant. Not long after that, she told fans she wasn't pregnant, but was having a lot of symptoms. So for the whole month of that January, she was doing multiple posts, dragging out and building up anticipation, clearly driving and receiving clout, attempting to receive clout from this pregnancy. Another TikToker named Alejandro said, just buy a pregnancy test. They're like $8. I looked it up for you. Another saying, take a test, stop posting. She was fishing with pregnancy tests, and then she needed to specify that it wasn't Connor's, which is weird. Saying, this is the father of my child. Stop saying otherwise. How would that even make any kind of sense? Connor is 13. Nothing else happened besides a kiss. Stay in your own business. Well, that didn't age well. All kinds of posts. She even posted a video of her taking a pregnancy test.
Let me put you on some facts real quick. So these are my pregnancy tests. This is my counter. This is exactly where I took the picture. This is the box that I bought with the pregnancy test in them, with that test, which is right there, and with this test, which is right there. Lucky for you, I went and bought 2 more just to test and prove you wrong. They didn't have the test that I bought originally, so I got waiting. Now this one's waiting. Now, as you can see, this one is coming up with the plus, which is pregnant. Pregnant. And this one says positive too. Oh, but I'm lying, remember? Shit just don't add up.
Anything for views, as they say, but it didn't stop there. She even went on to, well, when her baby was born, she attempted to sell pictures of the baby behind a paywall for only $15. She posted this on Instagram, link in bio for more exclusive pics. Love you, thank you for the support. This is what this looked like. Hey, it's Zoe. I love you all so much. Can't believe the baby's here. Here are some of our first photos together. Your support means everything to us. This is one of the most disgusting things that I think I've ever seen, and it tracks with this person. Selling just as soon as it was born. Behind the paywall it goes. And of course she released an apology, which, means absolutely nothing coming from them.
There is no excuse for what I did, but I didn't sell any pictures of my daughter in that way.
That makes no sense. What do you mean in that way? What right way is there?
That wasn't what I was trying to do. That wasn't what I was trying to get at. This is so frustrating. I didn't even want to do it in the first place.
That's not even the point. The point is that you put your child behind a paywall and you use them for clout, views, money. You monetize your child almost immediately. This is one of the biggest criticisms that family vlog channels get. Like, you made it the center source of the content. It was the content.
But as a new-time mom, I was scared to post her face at first because of the death threats and stuff that she received.
You're crying saying that you posted your child, saying that you didn't want to, but you did. But you didn't want to because of people saying that they were going to off your kids so you... That makes no sense at all.
So I looked at it like that, didn't think about it in any other wrong way that it could have been looked at, and I'm sorry. None of the money that I made off of it is going to me. It's going to Emerson's needs and her hospital bill from being Lifeline.
Sure.
Because she had to be Lifeline. She was in the NICU, and she still is in the NICU. It was all for her medical bills, and the rest of the money I am donating to mothers and children who need it, because I know...
I think one of the most psycho things that I seen was that she got tired of being exposed by her friends, which means that really she got tired of people having a conscience and exposing her illegal activities.
The people that come into my life and say, oh, I've changed, I swear. You know how they do. I won't expose you. I'll let you speak your mind and speak your opinion, and it'll stay between us. Never again is that happening. You're never gonna be trusted again. And that's your stupidity and that's your mistake. So you can live with that. And you can just realize that it's never going to happen again. So don't be... This is like only to a couple certain people, so don't like think this is directed to everybody. But don't be trying to come back to my DMs months down the line saying I'm sorry and that I've changed, because I'm not going to...
You really think that any of your friends who are terrified currently of going to jail for being complicit and knowing about what you did are going to come running back to be your friend again? Actually, since they're your friend in the first place, it kind of tracks. And so it looks like the newest defense mechanism that she's decided to embark on is that of religion, because, well, she's got Jesus in the bio, saying things like, I'm so thankful God chose me. She's got the Jesus glow. Got the songs going full blast, but the comments are turned off so people can't join in on her celebration of communion. It's just difficult to take her serious when she says things like this.
There are no lies. This is the 110% truth. On God. God is my witness. Okay?
You know, this might be a legitimate thing. However, given the timing and how she always attempts to latch onto anything that she can as a defense mechanism, it just appears that it's not a genuine expression of identity. I mean, this is a girl who even monetized her pregnancy for views. And we've seen before where bad people do bad things, and then all of a sudden, when they have nowhere else to turn, they turn to religion. Probably not as a genuine expression of identity, but within the preaching of forgiveness, wanting the forgiveness and seeking it out to cover up and try to move forward. And again, I'm not sure, but let me know what you think. I think one of the saddest things about this entire situation is that they seem to have gotten away with every single thing that they've done, despite the overwhelming amount of anecdotes, the overwhelming evidence that suggests that multiple people were complicit and knew and did nothing. Seems like Connor was let down every step of the way.
I was trying to press legal action against her, and I didn't want my case to be tampered with due to my social media posts.
I know he said he was trying to press legal action in the past. I don't know if he's trying to do anything current. I hope that he is, but I know he also talked about how he feels the police had let him down. I really hate that happened. And now, if you've made it this far in the video and you enjoy it and you want to support what we do, please consider subscribing and smashing that subscribe button and like and comment and all the good stuff. Thank you. One thing is clear to me is that this serves as a cautionary tale about what a predator can look like. They take the form of all things. Evil comes in all genders, shapes, and sizes. Keep your children safe. And to Connor, I am so sorry that you went through this. I hope that you find justice. The only thing that we can do here is amplify your message, and I wish that there's more that we could do. We do have the fundraiser for children in these types of difficult situations. It's below, or on the Ryland desktop below on mobile. We are currently at 293 of 2,500 raised. Let me know in the comment section if you've donated that, and I really appreciate that. Also, I want to thank all my patrons, and if you too want to become a patron and support what we do here, I will probably post things on there that are interesting. We'll see. Go look. I don't know. Maybe. See if it's something for you. I don't know. Also, I got 15,517 Instagram followers. I'm trying to get this to 20,000. I post pictures and nature stuff. And I'll be honest with you, big announcement. I'm planning on getting another animal. I haven't even considered that since Greg passed in 2022, but I think it's about time. So go help me with my goals. And did I say thanks to the patrons?